Welcome to the Brown Spade podcast. Once again, I have my co-host with me, Brother Cleve. What's going on, Brother Cleve?
What's going on, Mr. Daniel?
Nothing much, man. Okay, so this is a very hot topic. We've already discussed Father's Day. We talked briefly about my birthday. Uh, so here's what's going on. Now they just passed. Well, let me just start it off like this. The name of the subject today is called "What is Juneteenth?" Okay, Juneteenth marks the day when the federal troops arrived in Galveston, Texas in 1865 to take control of the state and ensure that all enslaved people be free. The troops arrived came 2.5 years after the signing of the Emancipation Proclamation. Juneteenth honored the end of slavery in the United States. So basically, Juneteenth is slavery was continuing after the Union won in Galveston, Texas in 1865. They had to come down there 2.5 years later after the Emancipation Proclamation. So let me continue before voice our opinions on this. Okay, let's see here. That's what took effect. Okay. Okay, let's see. It's June 19th, a national holiday. The Senate passed the bill Tuesday and established Juneteenth, the day marking the end of slavery in the United States, as a national holiday. After passing by unanimous consent, the bill heads to the House of Representatives, where its passage is all but assured, then on to the President Biden's desk to sign into law. So he made it law. How else can I celebrate or honor the day? Educate yourself on its history, amplify Black voices, support Black-owned business, donate to nonprofit organizations. Now, let me read this right here, this little piece here. Okay, the Emancipation Proclamation took effect in January 1st. Why the 19th? That was the thing about the Emancipation Proclamation. It only really took effect in a Confederate state once the Union Army was there to enforce it. Otherwise, the slave owners in the area of the government were free to ignore it. Texas was the last to receive Union liberators. So my thing is, before we get started, I don't want to sound disrespectful. We're on this platform. We have free thought. We also respectfully disagree. We can agree to disagree. You know, I don't expect for everybody to agree with what I say or agree with what my co-host says. We have that right to voice how we feel, as men first, and definitely as men of color second when we start talking about these particular subject matters. So before I begin, Brother Cleve, now when I first heard Juneteenth, well, let me say, as growing up, I never heard of it. I never heard of Juneteenth. Never. I'm from the South. I'm from Atlanta. Never heard of it. I've heard of Emancipation Proclamation. Yes, I heard of it. I heard of Wall Street. I've heard of it. And don't get me wrong, I'm quite sure there's a lot of other things that have not came across my plate. Let me say that as well. So this is, I'm talking from my own personal experience, and I'm really getting educated as the thing go on. I noticed they was all on TV talking about Juneteenth, and they was promoting it real big, but I never heard of it. And then I remember my father, oldest son, which is my brother, my dad's first son, who lives in Alabama. Now he heard about it. I mean, but when I first heard it, it came out of his mouth. He said, "Yeah, we celebrate Juneteenth," and I'm like, "What is that?" You know, I had no idea this whole time. I'm 48 years old. But he told me this probably uh maybe 15, 20 years ago.
Mhm.
So that's when I first heard about it, 15, 20 years ago. So it still wasn't explained to me properly about the thing. Now, with that being said, um, I get it. You know, the people in Texas, they did not want to concede. They want to continue the old fashioned way of doing business. I get that. So my question is, are we celebrating? What is it that we're celebrating? You say, oh, we're celebrating freedom for the end of slavery in the United States. Well, actually, it was ended legally once when this document was signed from the president, from my understanding. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
So that should be the day. I get it. Some people in certain pockets probably didn't acknowledge the law right away. I get that part. So we're gonna not celebrate the Emancipation Proclamation, and now we're gonna celebrate because they wait because the law wasn't enforced 2.5 years later after the law was passed, the Emancipation Proclamation. So that to me, that's kind of, it sounds crazy, and I'm not trying to be difficult here. I'm trying to get a true understanding. So what's your take on this thing, bro?
I heard about Juneteenth probably about I've heard of it years ago, but I really
I mean, an estimate of years. Go ahead.
understand
Estimate of
about
years. An estimate of
about
years.
I say about it was a little after it was in college. I heard
Okay.
about it in
So
college.
you're right. So we heard around about the same
But
time.
I didn't learn it until about when I became vegan about 7, 8 years ago.
Okay.
And my brother Willie, my baby, my brother up under me, he brought it to my attention because I became vegan. You know, learning vegan, the vegan lifestyle through him. But I did learn on the west side of Atlanta, closer, more like the West End. You know, this is something they've been celebrating this for years. Yeah. So I have no problem with people celebrating it. And my problem is why do we need permission to celebrate this?
That's one of my problems. Okay, we're thinking on the same thinking path right now.
They've
We
been celebrating.
approval.
They've been celebrating this for years.
Yeah.
But so why now do we need
Right. If you've been celebrating it, okay, so now it's an official holiday. So again, now we're not
but is it a federal holiday? Is it a federal holiday?
federal holiday.
Okay, so meaning that y'all acknowledge what happened to lead up to that, right? Yeah. So meaning that y'all acknowledge.
No. See, that's what black folks thinking.
Because if they acknowledge,
hey, people had the same argument, Cleve, with the Martin Luther King thing. Okay, that's how.
So if you acknowledge that this happened, that means it's things that come along with you acknowledging what happened to us, right?
The answer is no. That's hopeful thinking.
But I'm saying that's my point. That's my point of why are y'all even bringing this up, making a national holiday if you're not gonna acknowledge what this means?
Right.
Why make it a national holiday just so we can have a day off?
Yes, and that's in my opinion, in my humble opinion. And again, I'm not I'm not political savvy or none of that stuff. I don't claim to be, but I just feel like this is a distraction.
It is. It's symbolism.
I feel like this is what I feel like.
Symbolism.
Yeah, yes, but this is what I feel like. Check this out. I feel like this is a big distraction because like let me say this first and foremost, you have the right to vote for which party you want to. Mm-hmm. Liberal, Democrat, or Republican. That's your right as an American citizen. Let me say that. let me say that first before I say what I'm about to say. But I do believe that this is it is a distraction from focusing on the reparation.
Yes.
And I feel that now they made something a national holiday. I think that just distorted. They just put more cloud and more, more fog in your face. And now
And
you
that's
feel
what
like
it is.
and you feel like, I feel like, for the black folks to do celebrate, I just feel like they got something accomplished. And even
Because
if you need a day off, take a day off.
yeah, and we understand. Just take a day off
If
with
you need
pay.
take a day.
But here's the thing.
Without pay.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing, Daniel. Okay, so I remember when the president right now first got in office,
Biden.
and one of the things that made the news was he was supposed to sit down with Black Lives Matter.
Facts.
And he was supposed to sit down with
Ice Cube. Correct. And he sat down with
he didn't sit down with Black Lives Matter.
Nor
Ice Cube.
Correct.
So my thing is that was really like in the news for almost a month of them, we're gonna sit down with Cube and talk, because he has scholars. Cube has scholars to sit down to crunch numbers. These are things that these folks have been talking about for years, like right. 30, 40, 50 years. So they have a plan of what if reparation, was gonna come in effect.
What it would look like. Yeah, if they can put it together, here's what it looked like. It'll be
he didn't talk to Cube. He talked to Cardi B.
Yeah. So that's my whole point of I feel like, again, we get, so when I say we, I'm talking about the black people, mainly the Democrats. And again, I'm not affiliated with no political party when I'm talking. I'm speaking for myself. I just feel like this whole thing was just a big distraction, and I think a lot of them took the bait, hook, line, and sinker.
We didn't need them to give us permission to celebrate it.
But dude, I seen so many people out here with damn near in the parades, damn near at parks, and they were just going,
Yeah, but here's the thing.
It was an accomplishment, and it's not an accomplishment.
But here's the thing, Daniel. If they was to go back and read up on leading up to that, because the Emancipation Proclamation, the Lincoln signed, that was the fifth one.
People that was one. Right.
So they don't understand what led up to that. But if they go back and understand the first one, what I think the second one was that
one by the British. Yeah, one that was presented by the British. But all this was this was right at the beginning of the civil rights, because they really needed some more, because they knew it was going to be a lot of bloodshed. They knew it was going to be real ugly. So that's why they were saying, hey, well, if you want your freedom, we'll do this. So that's what made them use some of the blacks that did participate in as pawns, so they can damn near spare their own lives, or put them, to take some of those bullets, take some, to spare their lives. They wanted to use it, put us on the front line, so to speak. I mean, in a nutshell. And then the South came and did the same thing, and they took another playbook and said, hey man, if you want your freedom, you're gonna have to fight, blah blah blah. And then years later, right? So basically the narrative, well, they just needed manpower, but a part of them want to do it, a part of them didn't want to do it, because they're like, damn, I don't want to put a gun in this this
black
hand. I mean, shit, he might shoot
me. Turn on me. And they had that happen.
So they had to think about and reconsider those type of things. So the thing is, so those were the two times, and then you also, and that was before the Emancipation Proclamation. But what a lot of people don't understand is freedom was bound to happen, in my opinion.
It was happening. It was happening.
It was in motion. That's what I'm saying. But listen, what I'm saying, it was already in motion. It was going to happen. It was inevitable. It was coming to pass. So with that being said, the first successful revolution was in Haiti. So everybody heard from that. Those people in the South, they heard of that revolution. This is what sparked a lot of freedom changes. So Toussaint and those other guys, I don't have their names with me right now. Those guys not only did after they got their freedom, they helped free a lot of South America, Venezuelans. They helped free a lot of um, Colombians. They helped them get their liberation. So once when that revolt happened, it things start happening. Things start emerging. Things start coming to the surface. People start looking for freedom, and now they realize, okay, I see it's not going to be given to me. I'm going to have to take it. So it's inevitable. It's one of those things that it was going to happen. It was about to happen anyway. But okay, it's going to take some force. But again, and also just since we're talking for history's sake, Mexico had their they ended slavery. Everybody ended their slavery before America. America was the last one to hold on to it. One of the last ones to hold on to it. Colombia freed theirs. Mexico freed theirs. Venezuela theirs. Some more South American countries. So a lot of those countries was already free before we even got here. Even here in the Dominican Republic, they were free before, because once when the Haitians kicked the French, once when they kicked the French butts ass over there, then they came over here and helped them get their they helped kick the Spanish ass so they can get their liberation. So this thing was like snowballing at the time. So and it's crazy, and it's crazy. So again, like I say, all these other countries already ended slavery. So it was pressure on America anyway. It was bound to happen. And another thing I want to say while we're on here, that Lincoln did it from a strategic point of view. He didn't do it because he just like loved black people.
Yeah.
And I think that the narrative has always been perceived that he was
Out the
down.
kindness of his heart.
No, he was doing it because he was trying to save the Union. It had nothing to do with humanity. Had nothing to do with humanity. And so we have to understand that it was going to happen anyway. But my thing is back to the Juneteenth thing. So we're celebrating a particular area in history, one particular area to be exact, because they did not receive the information, or information was withheld for 2.5 years, and that's the holiday. So do we celebrate Emancipation Proclamation? Well, we know we don't supposed to celebrate 4th of July, but we do it anyway, right? Because that was not our independence; that was their independence. So we're dealing with a very complex thing when it comes to celebrating. I just feel like, just to piggyback off what you said, why are we asking for permission to have a holiday? Why don't we just do it like they was already doing? They was already celebrating it. You see what I'm saying? So it's like now we making a national holiday. Man, listen, them folks, listen, other people don't care nothing about that day.
They don't.
We're not saying that just because they don't care, we shouldn't care. That's not what I'm saying either. But it's like, I just feel like it was honestly speaking, I just feel like it was a
Symbolism.
yeah, symbolism. But most of all, man, it just this right here, just again, it just shows us how our attention span is very short, because everybody was talking all this reparation stuff before that. Please,
Yeah.
everybody reparation talk. Now you don't hear none of that crap.
No. But okay, if they that's what I was saying. Like, if you're gonna acknowledge that all this took place and all these things happened, then teach the whole history up into that, and what happened to us until we got up to that point.
But
meaning you owe for the things that led up to that point. And that's what they're not thinking about. They're thinking about, yeah, we free, but before that, what took place? And for the people that actually went through those things, for us, our ancestors, whatever, We are a product of that, because if you look at it right now, it's still affecting us.
I agree.
It's still affecting us. So by you saying that, yes, we acknowledge that this took place. Okay, you acknowledge that. Now let's discuss, what will it take for us to be um reparated for what went down. So now it's time to talk reparation. I mean, let's talk about what went down. But that's not what's going to happen, because we so excited about the whole
Holiday.
holiday, because
Man,
we want to barbecue, we want to grill,
you got to eat some damn barbecue.
we want to put on our shirts, but we're not understanding exactly what they're saying, what
Yeah.
they're telling us.
Listen, we gave you Juneteenth.
Yes,
We gave you that. We gave you Martin Luther King Day.
We raped you of all your rights, your memory. We raped you of all that. We beat you. We took over your country. Like, yeah, this is what we did. So now, guess what? Now we're gonna just give you a holiday for us doing all them things we did up until we freed y'all. Y'all just gotta forget about all that. And what we gonna do? We gonna give y'all a holiday. Hey, that's the best we could do.
The thing is, I honestly, let me say this too, and I feel like I love. Let me first say this: I love history. I love African history. I love everything about the essence of being a black man. Let me say that. But I'm also going to say this, that with love and history, I think history should be presented. But at the same time, if it's not, you could go teach yourself. You need to educate yourself and know your history as much as you can. The Juneteenth thing, I had no true knowledge about it, but I don't want to, as a 48-year-old man, almost 50. Listen, man, I'm not trying to. I know what has been done to us. I know what's being done. I know the fabric of this country. So there's nothing that can happen in this country that I'm not surprised. I can be like shocked. That would shock me, because I know enough history to know how they move. So with that being said, I think history should be, we learn history, and after we learn it, we just move forward. And I think a lot of time we're too focused. We're too focused on the past, and we lose focus on the present and the future. I don't want to play the victim. I know reparation is and should be given, but come on, let's be clear. So we've been free for what? Let's do the math. What is 65? Okay, hold on a second. So on paper, we've been free for 156 years on paper in this country, on paper, which is not a long time. And I get it. I get it. A lot of us have post-traumatic slave syndrome. I get it. We've had Tulsa. We've had Black Wall Street. We've had numerous events that took place that we don't even talk about, as far as having success, as far as events took place. Whether there was lynchings, or whether we won those battles, whether we lost those battles. So we have a large history of that. And that is the fabric of this country from the time of the arrival. I just don't want to play the victim game. I don't want to keep saying what somebody owed me. And And again, I don't represent no party because I know and I feel in my heart, and I could be wrong, but I just feel in my heart that they're not going to give us the damn thing. But I'm not sitting around here waiting on it. I'm not going to sit around here and wait on it. That's all for me. I'm speaking on my behalf. I'm not. I can't sit around here and be talking about, man, they owe us this. They owe. We already know this ain't no secret. We know that everybody else got awarded some form of reparation. Every group, we know that. But for some reason, there is some serious resistance when it comes to us. So I'm not going to be with that mindset of what they owe us because I know they owe. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not looking for it. I promise you, I'm not looking for it at all. My my reparation is what I go out here and put together to make it happen. I'm just being honest with you. That's just me. That's just me because I just feel like we just focus too much on that, on the gimme.
And for me, I totally understand what you're saying. My thing is, I feel like no, we won't see it if they was to do it. I won't see it. Maybe my great grandkids will see it, but don't spit in my face and tell me it's raining because it's like they playing. It's like they playing with us. It's like they saying
they are.
We know what we did, and we know you asked for this, but this is what we gonna give you.
We know that.
So don't even mention it. You don't have to. They was already celebrating this holiday. Why do you need to make it federal? Like why?
To appease a certain group of people.
Yeah, those people who follow and chase that those politicians. Yeah, they did. That's what they wanted to do.
Nothing but appeasement.
But that's how they've always done. It's nothing new. It's nothing new.
So that's what I'm saying. It's like, okay, well, we're gonna pick this event that took place. But what about the Cotilda? The Cotilda happened in Mobile, Alabama. Slavery was over with, and they were still bringing in that was the last recorded slave ship that we brought. It's called the Cotilda. Y'all look that up. And the man, he was somebody, I think that his grave site's still there in they call it African Town. It's somewhere in North Mobile, Alabama, if I'm not mistaken. Hell, that could have been a celebration. That's my point that I'm making. Like, you could go in any parts of our history on the soil of America and point it out and say, well, shit, that could be a day, you know? Because what about that last slave ship? Because you got some people out here saying that there were no slave ships. You got some people talking that crazy.
Yeah, they talk about it. I've heard the conversation.
And this is documented. These people, matter of fact, this guy went to jail. These two guys who brought the last slave ship over here, they tried to burn the boat. They went to jail. This is recorded document. So for those of you who be getting bad information, because it's bad information online as well, stop saying that slavery didn't exist. Stop saying that you're thinking that you're not an African or whatever the case may be. Okay. But you quit to claim everything else. But that's a whole nother subject. But the point that I'm making is you can choose anything, any revoke, lack of information. Hell, you could have chose what was that happened in Alabama? What was that?
Montgomery?
No. It was
Selma.
You could do Selma. You could do the Tuskegee experiment.
You could do the riots in LA, like you could
do crack. I mean, you know what I'm saying? When they deliberately put crack in our community. Yeah. I mean, we can always go into some part of history and say, hey.
But Daniel, you saying that, look at how you bringing it up to date of things that they have done.
Yeah.
I mean, just as something as early as the 80s with crack. When they brought that through
just so we can fund a war
yeah.
that wasn't even in America. See, a lot
No.
of people they don't want to talk about stuff like that, and a lot of people most of us not even aware of it.
And they actually had a trial with a man admitting to doing this.
Yeah,
Up under Reagan's administration.
yeah, Noriega.
But he had commercials saying just say no to drugs, and him and Oliver North was planning on moving drugs and guns throughout the United States.
Right, and the way to fund it without them reaching in their pocket to fund that war, the Nicaraguan war,
was us.
That was through us, in our community, and that was when crack was introduced, and it came in on the west coast of California, and from that, it was a plague, and it plagued our community, and we lost a lot of good people. Some people still incarcerated behind those areas.
But the top dogs is not.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, but again,
because if you go back and it's a movie called Made in America. Go watch that movie.
Yeah,
and see how you feel about just see how you feel about one of your ex-presidents,
right?
And how that's where he's from. He's from Arkansas, and that's all I'm gonna say. But go look at Made in America and see how he funded the drugs that came through the Southeast. Yeah, all of this happened. All of this took place. And it's sad because, I mean, when you we're talking about as far as the 90s.
Right.
We talk about as far as the 90s. Yeah. But Clinton and the rest of his administration, I mean, it just was it's so much.
It's so much. And that's what we gotta stop being so naive. And that's all I'm saying. And again, this shows, and it's all, what else this shows? This also shows how naive our so-called black politicians, they lead us down the wrong trail.
Why they fall in line?
You better believe, listen, Cleve, you better believe that they was all for this. They was just for this. Matter of fact, they probably presented it to him.
Mm-hmm.
Knocked on the man's door, say, hey, it's the one we want right here. And he probably told him behind closed doors and made sure the mic was off and everything. Look, now we I don't know about this reparation thing. Now what else what else you got now? I understand y'all help me put me in office.
We'll put watermelon on sale. We can't in fried chicken, like we can't.
Hey,
something else.
What else you got for me, Senator? What else you got for me? This we can't do this. Not right now.
Not reparation. Not right now. But because that's admitting that we actually.
They don't even care about admittance at this point. They already know they admitted it. They already admitted it.
That will admit that we was wrong. If they pay $2, Pooh, if they pay $2, they're not gonna admit that. It happened. It was our ancestors.
And it's true. That's true. That part is true.
But they still reaping the benefits off of it.
So by you benefiting from it,
yes,
you're also not benefiting from not being on the other side, so to speak.
Yes, you're benefiting from it.
We're getting the repercussion from what was done.
Yes.
A couple of 100 years ago.
Yeah,
I just don't want to pull out the violin and play the shit. It's not a secret what happened. Everybody knows.
And let me say this. Listen, I think it's a great thing that us as blacks, we acknowledge, because saying that we've been through all these things and we still here, it lets you know that we're strong. I don't think no other race of people could have went through what we went through and still be here and still be able to, stand the way we stand. So I that's one of the things that I would say, you know what? Yes, we went through this. We're strong. We can celebrate that we went through this. We went through this and we still here.
Well, yeah, but, I mean, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, but I just don't think that we needed their permission to do that. We know these things. We didn't have to get their permission to do that. We didn't have to do it on June, 19th. We could do it on Christmas. We could do it on Halloween. Like, we could do it when we want to. We could celebrate us when we want to celebrate us. Nobody should tell you, especially not the people who did it to you.
Let's do a day on not spending money in society.
Yes.
Let's skip a day with not spending.
Yes.
If you really want to make a difference, let's spend 1 month without buying high fashion clothes.
Mm-hmm.
How about that? 1 month.
Let's go from city to city, state to state.
Let's focus on ownership for 1 year. See, stuff like that. Because again, I think our biggest problem is we're waiting for somebody to come and save us. And that's why me personally, I'm not bringing out that violin, because I'm not playing it. Nobody is coming to save you. Nobody is going to give you anything. Freedom is not given. Freedom is taken.
It's taken. It always had. It always have been.
Nobody. Now, yes, you're born free, but you got to fight to remain free, because the nature of man. It is the nature of man to want to conquer and occupy spaces. Well, not all, man. We know. We know. But my point is that
like you said, Daniel, one way to celebrate is actually what you said, through our money. Because they had a place in Chicago.
Let's go 1 month, no nails done. Let's go 1 month. You're gonna go to all black salons. If you're gonna go get your nails done, you go to the black salon for 1 month. Just do it. And okay, yeah, the sister probably can't do the design, whatever excuse you're gonna make up. Just do that shit for 1 month.
Well, I'll say, just for instance, they had a city outside of Chicago. I think this was 2016 or 15, something like that, where they had a Asian man to shoot this young guy at their store, killed him. Mm-hmm. So they wanted, the police said it was justified, and of course nothing happened to the. So what they did in that community, I think it was
the girl. I think it was a girl.
Was it a girl? It was a girl, but anyway,
it was an altercation,
and she got killed.
They jumped on her. No, they beat her ass. I don't think she died.
Okay. All I know is in that city.
They did, but that was short lived.
But it closed down about 4 department stores. It closed down. It closed down almost 20 stores in just that area. They had to close down because they was not getting their money. They just wasn't. And that was in that small little city. Little city.
Right.
We have the technology to do stuff like that and say, you know what? Next year, Juneteenth, guess what? We're not spending no money from the beginning of June. I'm talking about as far as going out spending money on things we don't need. Right. Essential things that we need, get them, but we're not going to spend money on things we don't need from June the 1st all the way up until the 19th. Let's do that all over the United States, or even the East Coast. The East Coast do it from the 1st to the 19th, and then the West Coast do it from the 20th to the end of the month.
Right.
I mean, it's ways we can get their attention and get them to actually respond to what we want, because that's the only way they're going to listen to us. That's the only power we have is our money. Right. That's the only power we have is our money.
Like I say all the time, your freedom is your money. And if you don't have any money, you don't have any freedom.
Yeah. We could definitely do something like that and shake the economy, because you got to think about it. when 9/11 hit, we got hit hard. We lost jobs. Black people lost jobs. The economy went like this. You know what they did? They had to get the economy boosted back up. I'm
Right.
not going. I mean, I'm not going to speak on what they did, but they brought symbolism back into our face, and guess what? Boom, we got a new president that we all will respect and we love. And guess what the economy did? It shot right back up because we was back spending. It's not the jobs. It's not that a whole bunch of jobs was invented and a lot more black people was working. No, we start back spending money. We
Yeah.
start back spending money because until then, guess what? Guess what we was running to? We was running to the churches. That's how the churches became mega because we ran to the churches.
Right.
That's why we spend our money at. We have that power.
Right.
When you can make a church, the pastor make millions, $100 to $200 million a year. Like, come on.
Right.
And these are poor people that go to these churches. These not rich folks going to these churches. These are poor people at these mega churches.
Right. But it's just again, it's like we just we so easily distracted.
You put a party behind it, or you put a holiday behind it.
That's what they did.
You showing up.
They did. They that's what they did. Now guess what? So now from this day forward, but it's a national holiday, everybody gonna be in the park like it's the second 4th of July.
All
So
you
now
got
you got 2 4th of Julys now.
all you got to do is put DAY behind anything. Stupid day. You can say stupid day. We gonna be there celebrating, barbecuing. We gonna have stupid day shirts on our shirt on our back.
I'm telling you, man,
Just put day behind it. Just put day behind it.
It's insane.
Yeah,
it's insane. And I think it's a big shame, an even bigger shame on those politicians who was all for this, and they know because everybody was talking, like I say, during the election before anybody was elected in, everybody was raising the question of reparation. Now, the only person I haven't heard anybody even mention the word reparation now. Have you?
Not politician.
No, that's what I'm
saying. Anderson, he wrote.
Listen, and that's why this by design, Clee. That's why I'm trying to tell you. They pay those. When you see these political shows, if you just look at a man, you could just tell that they were told which subject to talk about.
They grown them.
What not to talk about because
ain't no way. They grown them guys.
Ain't no way in the hell you start talking about it because remember now, first day was the 1619 when we first got here. Y'all not acknowledging them. Remember what is all leading up to. Then reparation came about, and then out of out of left field came Juneteenth. First, remember because it was the return of the year of the return. You remember?
Yeah.
We came here in 1619, so that's why they did the 2019, right? So it's almost like we got to do something to get them, to get the blacks to reach in their pocket and spend their money. Now, don't get me wrong, that is a great experience. I never tell nobody not to go to Africa. I mean, I feel like every black person from America to the Caribbean should go and experience that. Now, I had a great time going there, but what I'm saying is, my point that I'm making is, it's almost like they keep trying to tell us what to do, how to do it, and we just fall in line. That's my point that I'm making.
Yeah.
If we just fall in line. So I don't know. And my thing is,
I have been to I don't know, what was it? It was Juneteenth. This was probably about maybe 4 or 5 years ago. It was something that they had, and I enjoyed the knowledge that they was putting out. But it wasn't like it is now. You go out like how you see. I think they had something at Centennial Park. Them guys out there getting drunk and drinking and dancing. These folks are actually sitting down. They were sitting down telling you just the history and the story of, and that's how I learned about the 5 lost my train of thought.
Emancipation Proclamation.
Yeah, Emancipation Proclamation. That's how I learned about the 5 excuse me, because they was breaking it down, and it was a guy who was speaking, and they had different people that was there that was talking about it. Like I said, this was in the West End, and they was talking about just what was going on, and it was amazing. I was like, wow,
Right.
and I enjoyed it. I even looked up and started reading more and more about it, but then you start reading stuff and just like now it's
Watered down. It's watered down.
because even if you ask the person what does this mean, they
I
don't know.
I remember, right, and that's what I'm saying. I remember when my brother presented it to me, the one that lives in Alabama, my brother Tony. And again, I remember back then, and I think I looked it up, and I promise you, Clee, it was like it reminded me of Freaknik. They had cars, girls dancing, alcohol, the same atmosphere as Freaknik.
But the people that I experienced it through, that's not what they was doing. They
Right.
was breaking down, explaining to you, what it was, what it stand for,
Right.
and why they celebrate it. And they was giving you the history up until, like you said, like they was talking about Alabama. Alabama was strong with just they celebrated hard, because I think one of the guys that was there, I think that's where he was from. He was talking about how they celebrate and everything.
Yeah, they
So
celebrated, but what I saw, well, I'm sorry, go ahead.
no, I was gonna say, so I enjoyed the knowledge on it, but it wasn't big. It was something small that they did, and he was like, we celebrated, every year. This is what we do. We have speakers, and it wasn't no dancing. I mean,
I was
no
like,
drinking.
when I saw it, I was like, damn, and they just went to this little place, and it was like a big open field. And it was like, yeah, man, and we have fun, and we do this and we do that. And I'm looking at it like, but again, it wasn't, even then, it wasn't properly explained to me on what actually happened, the actual event.
Yeah.
It wasn't properly explained to me at the time. And that's, like I said, that was maybe probably 20 years ago.
Yeah.
First heard of it. So that's like what, almost half of my life. But I don't know, man. I don't know. Again, I say big. It should be a big shame on the politicians. Another thing, let me since we're here, I was watching something the other day. Now this is Judge Joe Brown. You saw that? Did you see that?
Nah, but I
Check it out. I want you to just listen to it a little bit. I'm just gonna play a snippet, y'all. So just bear with us.
It's an embarrassment.
Really?
My granddaughter is born June 19th, and I'm so embarrassed she was born on that day.
Wait, isn't that a significant day for African Americans?
Yeah, it is, but it's embarrassing. At my age, all of my life,
And he's from Texas.
Juneteenth was supposed to be June 19th, 1866. Now, what's wrong with that?
I thought 1865.
No, they changed that in the last 4 or 5 years to try to cover up the embarrassment. You know what the embarrassment is?
What?
1863, first part of the year, Abraham Lincoln, February, signed the Emancipation Proclamation.
Right. January 1st.
January.
No, he actually signed it in September.
Hold on. He issued the Emancipation Proclamation February 1863. All right. Next thing, the 13th Amendment freeing the slaves passed out of the House, got sent to the states January 1865. All right. Issued the Emancipation Proclamation. Okay. Next thing that happens, January 14th, 1865, General Sherman signs the order as commanding general of his military district, the Black Reparations Act order, which is 40 acres and a mule to all Black families. All right. Next thing that happens, Lee gets his ass whooped and surrenders at Appomattox Courthouse, April 1865. May 1865, Sherman whips Johnson and gets his surrender. No more Confederate army. May 1865, he sends a cavalry detachment of black soldiers, cavalrymen, down to Texas to tell these damn fools that the war is over there free. They won't believe the black folk. That was in May 1865, not June 1865, but a whole year and a month later, June 19th, 1866, a Union frigate has docked in Galveston, Texas, and a Union first lieutenant, not first lieutenant, a naval rank lieutenant, that's like a lieutenant major in the Army, or current lieutenant colonel, asked the stevedores why they are laboring under the lash. And he said, well, we still slaves. He said, fools, you've been free for 3 years from the Emancipation Proclamation. You've been free 2.5 years from the 13th Amendment. You've been free for a year and 2 months from Lee getting his ass whooped. You've been free a year and a month from Johnson getting finally his ass whooped and surrendering. And it's been a year and a month since your fellow black soldiers, some black soldiers told you were free. Now you got to have a white boy tell you free? That is so embarrassing.
I didn't know that. So it's technically.
I will never celebrate Juneteenth. I said, you won't celebrate all the hell you want. Damn fools down there being slaves. Oh, I'm so happy. Have you ever seen Walt Disney's Uncle Remus?
Lo bueno de dominó es que como la vida, uno mueve su ficha para que gane.
Yeah, Brother Clee. But anyway, that was just a snippet. But let's continue since Brother Cleve, he's on the call.
It was based on a book that a white boy wrote after the Civil War in Atlanta. And the proposition is that Uncle Remus is a very, very disgruntled slave. You know why?
Why?
He was living such a happy-go-lucky life until these northern invaders freed his slavish ass. So we had to learn those songs in elementary school. Disney tries to hide them now. Zippity-doo-dah, zippity-day, my, oh my, what a wonderful day. And this guy got this rich, see, they had animated Burr Rabbit, Burr Fox, Burr Bear, and these animated animals, and they had real people playing the other characters. So this happy-go-lucky old slave with a white beard is bouncing around talking about how happy he is as a slave and how upset he is that they freed his ass.
That's where that song came from. And I think I remember somebody telling me that years ago.
Yeah, Uncle Remus with his handkerchief head need to be fed to some hogs' food.
So we should not be celebrating Juneteenth.
Juneteenth, hell no. Like you should not celebrate Kwanzaa because it was started by that traitorous snitch, that informant, Ron Everett, aka Ron Karenga, in 1966 at Lamert Park, so they could better snitch on black folk by bringing them together to talk and have fellowship.
Because I put in the title "Freedom Over Sexuality" because it's Pride Month, and they always try to lump, Black history with LGBT rights and stuff like that. It's all these articles saying, seven Black LGBT Black leaders. Juneteenth.
Well, they ain't Black leaders; they LGBT surrogates.
Yeah, 7 Black LGBTQ leaders. So they're always trying to put gay with Black
I know
history.
they do that, but you see, what they're doing is subtly altering your mindset, like this thing dialogue with the education secretary saying cisgender girls should be allowed.
But anyway, that's just a snippet of Judge Joe Brown. He was being interviewed by some nice young lady, and I came across that the other day. But he has some very good points. I agree with most of it. But again, he know more history than I do. He's from Texas, and he's older than
He's
older than
he's a judge.
he's a judge.
I'm pretty sure he's seen every level of
So
government.
right. So for him to, one thing I do like about him is he definitely speaks his mind. He doesn't hold back. Which pretty much like most older men. It's like, hey, I'm gonna let it all hang out. It's like what I'm holding back for. But all right, brother. So in closing, bro, what's your thing on this in closing?
Well, I mean, the topics like these. Well, first of all, let me say thanks to all our fans who watch us and support us. Go hit the like button. Hit the like button. Subscribe. Share.
Hit the notification.
Yes. And some people may not agree to how me or Daniel feel, and you're entitled to that. But I will say this. These are the conversations we have to have, and they are uncomfortable, but you have to have these conversations.
Right.
And we have to start realizing that we determine what we accept, in our communities. We accept, for them to give us a holiday that we already celebrating. We accept for them to, tell us that we are going to discuss reparations, or we are going to, talk to your leaders, and don't, like, we accept that, and if we want to stop that from happening, our power is through our money, and they know this. Right. They know this. They know our power is through our money. So we got to stop putting our money and investing into these people that are just selling us anything. It's like we know, we see the commercial. We know it's a scam. Like you get these calls from people from Africa, and they say, they want to get your account, and they're gonna put $2 million in your account because you're my brother from another mother in another country, and we are African. We all, you looking at this like, what? Like, no, I'm not gonna do that, because it's a scam.
Right.
But you got some people who actually believe that and actually get scammed. Don't be that person. Don't be that person. If it sounds too good to be true, 9 times out of 10, it's too good to be true. But we can control what we do and how, where our money go and where we invest our money in. That's our power. That's our power. That's the only way we can show them that we're serious, by not investing our money into none of this foolishness that they present to us.
Right. I just so let me ask you this. So will you will you be celebrating Juneteenth?
You said, will I celebrate it?
Yeah.
No, I mean, no. So I didn't, when I came across it, them years back, I went, really not expecting.
It was almost like an Auburn Fest. It was like the Auburn Fest almost, right?
I forget what it was. No. This was in the West End. Similar. Yeah, it was similar to They had all types of African, it was more of like a festival.
Like Auburn Fest, yeah.
Yeah, it was more like a festival. They were selling pictures and paint
shirts and shea butter and all that.
It wasn't nothing like it is now.
Right.
And they also gave you history on it.
Right.
Something like that I would attend, but this going to Centennial Park and people getting drunk and all that, no, I won't do that, because
concert's coming next. Yeah,
I know. Yeah, they're gonna have it. They're gonna have, the thuggish, ruggish rapper talking about killing and drugs and lean and on Juneteenth. Ain't that something?
Hey man, it's something else. But I me personally, well, one, I'm not there in the States. I don't live there, but so they definitely won't be talking about it here. But I mean, if somebody fire up the grill and they got some good chicken, I'll stop by and get a piece. I'll stop by and get a piece, you know. But as far as myself, firing up the grill, talk about Juneteenth, I don't think not at this point in my life. I don't need no. Honestly speaking, I don't need no new holidays in my life. I don't, unless it's a birthday, in addition to my family, something like that. That's just how I feel. I'm not knocking anybody who want to celebrate it. If you want to celebrate it, you know,
Yeah,
again,
it's a beautiful thing, man. It's a
that's
from
your
what
right.
I've seen.
You know,
From what I've seen, it's a beautiful thing.
that's your right. And again, like I said, if somebody invited me, you know, I'm not gonna tell them no. I mean, I show up. You know, it's not like it's gonna bother me or hurt me or anything like that. But I'm not gonna purposely be like, yeah, let's go bring out the picnic basket and all this other type of stuff. That's not gonna happen. My question is, before we end this show, is like, what do we get from this day? What do we get from? How do we benefit from this day? Other than you going to the store and
Spending
buy
money.
alcohol, food, charcoal,
Meat.
grill, meat, and you know the other stuff that comes along with it. Depends on the group that you with. So how that's the question. That's the question I would like anybody who listens to the show. And if y'all talking about this anywhere else, please share it with somebody who talking about this subject. That's the question that I have to ask. How do you benefit from it?
Because when you celebrate it,
From
that
it.
means when you celebrate it, that means you won, right? That means you're fine with what's going on.
You all in.
Yeah, that's
You
it.
all in.
It's not like you say, yay, okay, now we want reparation. No.
Right. So it's like, okay, so now we got a black day. So now we got we got 3 black days. We got February, we got Martin Luther King Day, and now we got Juneteenth. So we got 3 days. Well, 3 holidays. Well, yeah. Well, we got 1 month and 2 days. So that's
don't forget,
that's 30 days. Clee, that's 30 days. We got a month. We got a whole
listen, we celebrate Easter too and Christmas.
Yeah, and we celebrate 4th of July.
Yeah.
I think
I told you we celebrate anything that you put DAY behind.
Right. So I mean, you know, in closing, that's just my biggest question. How do you benefit from it? And how do we as black people, how do we benefit from it? I mean, what is I don't get it. If you already celebrating something, why do you need somebody else's approval? That's all I'm saying. You know why? I don't need nobody to tell me if I want to go somewhere and for example, I went to celebrate on my birthday. I didn't have to wait for somebody to say, "Oh, I want to do this for your birthday." No, hell no, I'm not waiting on nobody. I'm gonna, make it to my whatever I want to do that day. That's what I'm gonna make happen and that's what I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna sit around here. I just think we sit around and wait. Again, you're waiting on somebody to control you. I don't get it. Snap up out of it. Wake up, people. Wake up. But again, if that's your day, that's fine. To each his own. I'm not knocking you for it. And again, please like, share, subscribe. We're on Spotify as well as YouTube. On that note, we out.